Hello everyone, my name is Felicia Priscilla and I'm from Management International Class Batch 2018. I'm from Faculty of Economic and Business Universitas Tanjungpura. And today, I would like to answer several questions related to the Human Resource Management Mid Term Exam, which is given by Mr Adi Mursalin, the lecturer of Human Resource Management. So there are three sections regarding to these questions. The first section is about the activity of students in the classroom. The second section is about the activity of the students in what subgroup at Edmodo. And the third section is related to the articles and videos of human resource management. So there's a speaker that will ask me about the questions and I will answer the question. So let us begin.
Section 1. Number 1. How many times have you attended the HRM class? Why?
Well, I have attended 8 meetings. 8 meetings of the HRM class, which is 6 meetings offline class and 2 meetings online class. So this online class occurs because the government's implemented a social distancing policies where we prevent the spreading of COVID-19.
Number 2. Did you used to be absent from attending the HRM class? Why?
Well, I never absent in attending the HRM class because I personally really like learning about human resource management.
Number 3. What have you studied for all this while from your lecturer and your friends in the class?
So, the first meeting on the class is at February the 4th. And that was the time when Mr Adi Mursalin has given us, each and every one of us, a material related to human resource management. Well, we have to present the material in front of the classroom in each meeting. So, since the presentation starts on February the 11th and on the classroom class it ends on the 4th of March, so I've learned about human resource and organizational context by Faradina Putri Ardanti, strategic human resource management by Muhammad Ridho Rahim, human resource and organizational performance by Muhammad Farhi Ashidiki, and ethical perspective of human resource management by Muhammad Rizqullah Naufal, and configuration and regulation of supply chain in human resource management in times of economic crisis by Dita Larasati, organizational outsourcing and implications by Dwi Francisca, human resource practices to diversity management by Giovanni Sutantiono, human resource in SMEs, which is small medium enterprise by Rifana Tanggaya, human resource as the recruitment and selection by Robi Wijaya Chandra, and knowledge and organizational learning and knowledge management through HR practices from Eric Chandra, HR planning by Dinda Afifah Sudarpi, performance management by Pelagia Loretta, and however, there's also 3 presenters from Stephen Putra, from Eric Parlian Tanjaya, Lazioris, and me myself. Is presented via YouTube because we started to implement the social distancing policy. And last week, there is also a presentation from Mayang Puspitasari, Stephanie Zheng, and also from Lisa Monica. So thank you guys for sharing the materials with all of us.
Number 4. Are you silent or active in speaking, discussing, and answering questions or interviews given in the classroom? Why?
Well, if I have to value myself, I think that I'm quite active because I really like the time when we answer the questions from the speakers in the class. The presenters ask us several questions and we try to answer them because it's the way we communicate with the presenter. In order, if we don't understand something, we can ask him or her, and then if we want to test whether we understand the material or not, then we can try to answer the questions given by the presenters. If we got it right, then it can be valued and said that we quite understand and really understand the material itself. So I really like the Q&A, which is question and answer part of the presentation in the class.
Number 5. Is it the first time for you to study HRM by means of WhatsApp? Edmodo, YouTube, and Facebook. Why?
Well, yes, it's quite new to me because previously we have learned and used WhatsApp because WhatsApp is a common media when you learn and study at the college. So every teacher and lecturer uses WhatsApp to hand out information, hand out materials like that. And about YouTube, some lecturer also asked us to create a speech, a video, a drama, or things like that. So we have to post it on YouTube. So we have experience using YouTube before. And another material is Edmodo. So on the second semester, this lecturer, the English lecturer, has asked us to teach and taught us to use Edmodo by means that have to post each and new vocabulary each and every day, followed by the example. But by Facebook, yeah, it's brand new to me. So we never used Facebook as the media of learning before. So using Facebook is quite new to me. So this is the end of section 1. And thank you. Hello everyone and welcome back to section 2.
Number 1. Are you active in the WhatsApp group? If yes, what forms of activities have you done in the WhatsApp group? What benefit have you got from your activities in the WhatsApp group?
So I'm quite active in a WhatsApp group, and the activities that I've done were, the first one is sending the introduction voice note of myself and a picture of myself, and then I also answer several questions using voice notes, and I posted the links to the video that I've made related to HRM, to which I posted to YouTube, and I also have posted my PowerPoint slides at the WhatsApp group. And the benefits I get from the WhatsApp group is that every time Mr. Adi Mursalin gave us questions or asked us something related to HRM, and we need to write it down like the conventional way, but through WhatsApp group we don't need to write it down, guys. So it is very practical and very efficient, yet it's also very eco-friendly, so we can save the planet by minimizing the usage of paper by using voice note, which what Mr. Adi Mursalin implements in our study method. So it's really good to use WhatsApp group as a media for learning.
Number 2. What questions have you answered on the WhatsApp group? Explain your answers.
So the questions that I have answered, the first one is about what are happy workers, and the second one is if you're an employee in a company, whether you want to be a driver or a passenger, and the third one is the sexual harassment in the workplace. So I would like to explain each of the answers that I've made. The first one is about happy people at work. So Mr. Adi Mursalin asked us what is happy people at work. So I explained my answer saying that happy people at work are the employees or workers that really enjoy their job and working in a company. Other than that, people always said that doing what you love, but happy workers is not just doing what you love, but loving what you do. So for example, as an artist, if this artist loves to draw cartoons, then it's doing what he or she likes or loves. But if to become a happy worker, they have to also like what they're doing. So somehow these artists can also gain a commission work to draw something else outside of cartoon theme, so it means that they have to also love what they do. And that's the definition of my happy people at work. And the benefit of happy people at work, ladies and gentlemen, we can unite them as one. Other than that, company also has the chance to understand people's uniqueness, people's talent, and their potential towards the goal of the company. So that the management of the company must unite all the uniqueness, all the differentiation, all the plus and minus that each employees or workers have in order to go toward the same direction, which is the better success of the company. Then the second topic that I'm going to talk about is if you're an employee in a company, whether you want to be a driver or a passenger. So ladies and gentlemen, initially when we enroll into a company, we are part of the first line management team. So other than that, when we work for some time and gain more experience, we will get higher level of job, means that we will get promotion. So initially, all of us are the passengers in a company because we only follow orders and what we must do from our boss, from our manager, from our supervisor. So we only follow as a passengers. But as we gain promotion and get into the higher level of our job, means that we're the one who direct now. For example, we became the manager of certain division, so we're the one who became the driver. I mean, not the driver as superior, but this driver is the one who direct which way that the company wishes to go. Every company has their vision, ladies and gentlemen. So this vision must be accomplished and achieved through missions, and the managers are the one who created these missions. So everyone, I would like to become the driver of the company, which is the one who directs the company towards its better goal. And the third topic is about sexual harassment in work. So ladies and gentlemen, this video explains us about the law definition, how law define what sexual harassment is. Other than that, sexual harassment is very dangerous because it can happen to anyone at any time. So ladies and gentlemen, everyone must be aware of the social harassment at the workplace, especially because other than that, this case could lead to unproductivity, higher employee turnover, and more absenteeism. So it really limits the potential or works of people within the company. So everyone must aware about sexual harassment and must prevent it to be happening in the company.
Number 3. Are you active on Edmodo? If yes, what forms of activities have you done in Edmodo? What benefit have you got from your activities in Edmodo?
I personally also quite active at Edmodo, and the activities that I've done were I always respond I always respond the postings that posted by friends or Mr Adi Mursalin through likes, and then sometimes I'll also read several articles that really interest me, and it's quite new, so I'm new to me, so I'm interested to read it and to find out what it is. And other than that, Mr Adi Mursalin is very, very nice to all of us by sending many ebooks related to human resource management. So it also asks the ingredients for us to create our own thesis in the future. So thank you so much, Mr. Adi Mursalin. And other than that, the benefits that I've got from studying using Edmodo is that we can gain many information from many sources, like Mr. Adi Mursalin can post it, his source of knowledge like ebooks and articles, videos, and many other things, and we can learn more rather than just reading a conventional book, because through social media we can access a wider space of learning, so it's really beneficial actually. And through Edmodo, because of its easy usage, even newbie in technology or such as common students at any level of education can use them easily, ladies and gentlemen. So learning using Edmodo is really, really good.
Number 4. What topics have you video recorded in Edmodo? Why did you choose the topics?
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that I also posted several links of the video that I posted on YouTube related to human resource management. So the titles that I've chose, the first one is about HR, which is human resource management. The second one is questions of HRM. The third one is, are happy workers more productive? The fourth one is strategic human resource management. The fifth one is about performance management cycle. The sixth one is about HRM marketing strategy. The seventh one is about what's the seventh one? Yeah, it's about the experience that I've learned and have in Mr. Adi Mursalin's class. And then it's also about sexual harassment in the workplace. And there was also one more video, but I forgot about it. But don't worry about it. I will post every links that I've posted on YouTube on the description box. And the reasons why I chose those topics to be recorded in the video is that I really like the idea and the lessons learned within this topic. So the first one is about human resource management and questions of HRM. So ladies and gentlemen, initially as a student we don't know what we're learning about. So through learning the first video like human resource management, what is human resource management, we can understand deeper. So, oh, this is what human resource management is. And then the questions related to human resource management is posted through the second video, which is questions of HRM. So ladies and gentlemen, those two topics are interrelated with one another, so it's very interesting to know the continuing after what is HRM. And the third one is, are happy workers more productive? So we have to find out whether happy workers is more productive or not in their workplace, whether they're happy with the results and their comparisons within it. And oh yeah, the topic that I forgot to say is about Maslow's theory of needs. So this Maslow's theories of needs stated that everyone has different needs based on their needs hierarchy. So it's very important to know whether they are happy, could create and increase their productivity, or either fulfill their basic needs through the Maslow's hierarchy theory, the motivation theory. And then there's a topic about performance management cycle. It's the way that we evaluate or we know what the employees have done through the goals that we've given for their performance appraisal. And other than that, there's also a topic about the experience, about learning HRM. So we have to know what changes us through the learning of HRM. So that video was made. And then there's also another video called the sexual harassment in the workplace. So this topic is very hard and still a warm issue until nowadays. So sexual harassment is one of an important topic that must be discussed. And what is it? How do we prevent it? And how do we increase the sense of awareness towards the people within the workplace so that we can prevent it from happening for us, because it can happen anytime, anywhere, and to anyone, ladies and gentlemen. So those are the reasons why I created the video and chose those 8 topics plus 1.
Number 5. Do you like to study by means of blended learning? Why or why not?
I personally think that blended learning is a new way, and it's very new to me, so I really like to learn something new that I haven't tried before. So it's kind of interesting because, as we all know, that Indonesia right now and the world is entering the revolution of Industry 4.0. So before we say that ourselves, students, as this agent of change, we must know and understand how to use technology well. And that's why by using blended learning in our implementation of studying, it really helps us to practice to use this technology. Because Mr. Adi Mursalin implements his teaching method through classical classroom, which is offline class. The second one is using WhatsApp group. The third one is using Edmodo. The fourth one is using Facebook, and the fifth one is using YouTube. And latest, he is using another media which is supported by Google as well. So I really haven't tried all these things at once before I enter college, especially studying using Facebook and this Google supported application. So it's pretty new to me and I'm challenged to learn it better and to know it well. So blended learning is actually a good way for students in order for them to practice and understand how to use the technology well. And other than that, I always remember and love the quote of this, that new doors cannot be opened through old ways. So new ways will open new doors. So if we try something new, we will get better or new and different results. So blended learning is actually really good, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the end of section 2. Thank you. Hello everyone and welcome back to section 3.
Number 1. What is HRM to the 5 experts? What is your definition of HRM?
So, according to 5 experts, the definition of HRM is the field of human resource management involves planning, organizing, directing, and controlling functions of pursuing, developing, maintaining, and utilizing a labor force, which is said by MDGCs. The second one is HRM as a provision of leader and direction of people in the workplace or employment relationship by Dale Yoder. And the third one is Mathis and Jackson said that HRM is an effective use of human resource and organization through the management of people-related activities. And the fourth one is Ricky W. Griffin said that HRM is a set of organizational activities directed at attracting, developing, and maintaining an effective workforce. And last but not least, Gray Dessler said that policies and practices one needs to carry out the people or human aspects of management position, including recruiting, screening, training, rewarding, and appraising. Those are the experts that says that what are the definitions of human resource management? Well, me myself, in my opinion, human resource management is a system which is designed to manage people by ensuring every talent has been used efficiently and effectively to accomplish organizational goals.
Number 2. Explain the human resource management cycle. Give the example in your explanation.
So the first step of the performance management cycle, which is human resource management cycle, starts with writing the goals. So every employee must write down the goals which then managers set to them, so that they have to also understand what the goal means. So the first and the second step is about writing the goals, what the managers want us to do, and the second step is about understanding what the managers want us to do, yet manager also must know that whether the employee understand or not towards the goal. And the example is about by means of a fast food restaurant. So employees must know the vision of the company, which is to serve food in a speed and a good quality. And the second one, by understanding the expectation that managers want them to do, is that employee must understand to prepare, deliver, and clean properly and efficiently when the customers arrive or either leave the restaurant. And the third step is managers should monitor the goal completion with specific time frame. So it by means that the manager should implement target sales towards the employees to achieve in the fast food restaurants. That this specific time frame is used by creating certain deadlines to the employees to submit their progress to the manager. So the managers will know whether they're doing well or doing not well and having problems or drawbacks due to their effort in order to complete the jobs and the goals set by the manager. And the fourth part is monitoring process provides information for employees assessment. So through monitoring process, we can know whether the employee can reach the target sales or not. So by means that if in a restaurant, in a fast food restaurant, that employees have been set goals by their manager, so we can value and check on their progress and see whether they can do it well or not through the employee assessment by conducting these monitoring steps. Other than that, the performance appraisal is the summary of employees' performance in completing the assigned goals. So, employee will be promoted or not based on this performance appraisal, whether they will be demoted or even promoted, ladies and gentlemen. And last but not least is set new goals and expectations for the next cycle to repeat. So, at any time that this human resource management cycle will be rolling, repeating, and keep on going, and that's why this is called as a cycle.
Number 3. What is ethics? Why is ethics important in a company? What happens if there is no ethics at the workplace? Can you give some examples of ethical deeds and unethical deeds at work?
So based on the presentation that my friend has brought from Muhammad Rizqullah Noval, he brought about human resource management as an ethical perspective. So his definition is that ethics are those values that are embedded within an individual or reinforced externally, help in distinguishing between right or wrong to act accordingly. So those are the hard definitions of ethics. So in short, ethics means that it's the value believed by people to consider whether it is right or wrong. And ethics in human resource management indicates the treatment of employee with ordinary decency and distributed justice. Ethics is very important, ladies and gentlemen, because ethical business contributes the organizational goals towards the employee will feel motivated will they work so that they will be working effective and efficiently. And ethics is implemented as the part of basic human rights, safety in the workplace, justifiable treatment of employee, and respect and fairness in the workplace. The benefits of ethics itself will increase the improvement of recruitment and selection tasks, increasing productivity, higher employee morale, less mortgage, less supervision, and less wastage. That it also ensures that there is no pitfall within the performance appraisal. However, there are also some drawbacks, means that people will be doing child labor, creations, and some of them will think that they are more correct than others if ethics is not really implemented well. And exploiting cheap market employees. Other than that, it's also harder to create employees' productivity if they are also with the longer and flexibility working hour with no certain law or ethics that they must go home with certain time. Without ethics, it will be hard days for the employees.
Number 4. When you talk about sexual harassment at the workplace, what is in your mind? And is it ethical? Why or why not?
Sexual harassment is an unwelcome verbal, visual, or physical conduct of sexual nature that happens to a person because and said that severe and pervasive, affecting working environment, conditions, and creating a hostile environment of working, ladies and gentlemen. So sexual harassment is actually very, very dangerous because it can lead to many negative feedback points in the workplace. For example, like they can decrease employees' productivity, they can also decrease many other points, creating a hostile working environment. They can increase employee turnover. They can also limit the access of people's working. So it's very unethical because sexual harassment is conducted and done due to indecency happening and no distributed justice, while sexual harassment is also against morale, inappropriate, and violating human rights because it is conducted unwelcomely, ladies and gentlemen, and some occurs due to higher level of salary, promotions, and if certain people refuse to say yes to sexual harassment in the workplace, they could be demoted or even fired. So, sexual harassment, besides creating uncomfortability, it can also decline professionalism, limit working performance, decreasing productivity, creating intimidating, hostile, and offensive working environments, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 5. What is diversity management? Explain it in detail.
So diversity management is the ways that people in an organization which are different from and similar to one another. The benefits is that we can gain people management, organizational performance, and strategy. In organizational performance means that we can reduce employees turnover, absenteeism, and change of losses. Additionally, the strategy is also the key of extracting the best talent, market share, and supplier from diverse country and world. And other than that, let's not forget, and the organizational performance is including cost saving and reducing employee turnover and staffs. So in people management, we can gain and attract the talented workforce. So actually, the several keys which includes in diversity found in workplace is all around us. For example, age, gender, race and ethnicity, ability, disability, religions, and others. However, due to managing diversity, there are some drawbacks because people still and remain stereotyping in their brain and thinking that their bias is the best thing other than the other's one, and discrimination and also glass ceiling. So they're creating a block, a wall within themselves, saying that I will not accept them. I will only say that myself is the best. So this stereotyping, this bias, this discrimination, and this glass ceiling is actually very bad and quite challenging towards the implementation of diversity management.
Number 6. What is a supply chain? What is the relationship between supply chain and HRM?
So supply chain is a set of organizations that works together in the upstream or downstream flows of product and services to provide finished products to the consumer, which is for the first one, which is we produce and then we distribute and then we sell to the products to be consumed like that. That is the simple explanations of supply chain. So this supply chains are as this set of organization can be example as the single firm with supplies to be produced and distributed to the people to be consumed directly. And the purpose of supply chain management is to improve the long-term performance of the individual companies and the supply chain as a whole. Establishing HRM activities from developing an HR strategy and recruiting, selecting, developing, and rewarding workforce to change management and labor relationship. So there are many benefits in collaborating HRM and supply chain. One of them is that implementing the simple and resulting steps of supply chain to the HRM itself. So through supply chains, we know that we must forecast the labor's demand, aligning their recruitment practice, sharing applicant tools, identifying training needs and objectives, developing performance metrics, because the flow is very clear, ladies and gentlemen, so we can check or even control what's wrong and fix them right away. And aligning performance appraisal dimension and also learning the supply chain partner feedback on individual and group's performance. So by using HRM practices and to unify the supply chain is very challenging, but however, the complex business environment nowadays, which are characterized by shorter product life cycles, before, it's very long. It has a very long process from the producers to one another until we can consume the certain product. But by implementing and unify the HR practices with supply chain, we can have shorter. product lifecycle, product proliferation, ongoing outsourcing, and globalization of supply base and markets. So it is very beneficial, ladies and gentlemen, to implement supply chain in the human resource management.
Number 7. Open this link and explain the contents of this article in detail.
So, based on the links provided, the title of this article is Ethical Leadership as Attendant of Job Satisfaction, Effective Organizational Commitment and Intention to Stay Among Volunteers of Non-Profit Organizations. So the aim of this paper is that they have to know whether the effect of ethical leadership are shortened as EL in volunteer satisfaction, effective organizational commitment, and the intention to stay in the same organization. The second one is the role played by job satisfaction as a mediator of the relationship between EL and volunteers, intentions to stay in the same organization, as well as between the EL or ethical leadership and effective commitment. So those are the aim of this paper. They have to know whether the research and the questionnaires and the process of this objectivity has been done well or not based on the aim. And then there's also the construct well of the effect of EL is approached in light of social exchange theory and the social learning theory. The structural equation models were used to test hypothesized relationships. So initially the researchers have hypothesized and think about probability or forecast the results that might come out, and they have to test it out, and in the end they tested using social exchange theory and social learning theory. And other than that, the results confirm that the role of mediation of volunteer satisfaction in the relationship between the variable studies, in particular ethical leadership, was found to be positively associated both with volunteers' intention and staying there in the company of non-profit organizations and with their effective commitment. In the end, the findings are both for practitioners and managers of non-profit organizations, since they suggest the relevancies of perceptions by ethical leadership by volunteers as well as scholars, since they further deepen and knowledge of ethical leadership its effect to the followers. Yet, the limits of the study is the questionnaires was admired only among the group of non-statistical samples volunteers, because in order to gain this final result, they only conduct a short research which only specific on certain groups. So it cannot and has not been proven if it's done or implemented in a larger groups of people or organization.
Number 8. Open the following links and mention the speakers in these videos, the topics discussed in detail, and what have you got from these videos, and are the materials in these videos important for you and your company?
So the first link of this given is the speakers is from Grad Learning, and the topic is about why study HRM. So what I got from this video is that the reason why we study human resource management, because the role of modern manager changed to meet today's organizational dynamic and complex environments, ladies and gentlemen. So it means that managers must not stay on their field or play safe. Manager must have and do dynamic changes towards their work. So it's very important for me and my company in the future that we have to stay flexible. So we must not stick to structural things, but we must be dynamic, ladies and gentlemen. We must change and be flexible towards the conditions that must be happen. For example, like nowadays, we're facing COVID-19 spreading virus all around the world. If we insisted to be working must be at the office in front of computers sitting in hours, means that we are supporting the spreading. We're not preventing, but we are supporting the spreading. That's why we must be flexible by conducting social distancing and working from home, so we can limit the contact of one to another and also prevent the spreading of COVID-19. Means that working is not always at the office in front of computers. It might be always in front of computers, but not always at the office. We must be flexible, ladies and gentlemen. And the second topic is about, it's about managing diversity from Carl Burger Jr., PhD from the University of Houston. So, Dr. Carl said that diversity management is the way that people in the organization which different from or similar to one and another. That is what explained about diversity management. So although diversity management brings up many benefits, for example, we can gain and attract a talented workforce, we can reduce the cost, we can also say that we are the one who can gain the best strategic performance or labors through this by managing diversity. But there are also some drawbacks because diversity is all around us. You and me are very different. Maybe you're a boy, a girl, a kid, an adult, a parent, or even a student like me. So we're all different, we'll all vary. From our age, from our gender, from our race, ethnicity, from our ability and disability, we're all different. So, thus, those differences can create bias and stereotyping. So, it's very dangerous. Thus, we must understand well and try to implement this diversity of management pretty well within ourselves and the organization, for example, at company, so that in the future we can dictate these drawbacks so that in the future we can implement better and gain more benefits through managing diversity. And the last topic is about human resource outsourcing from Ritu Gandhi Arora. So outsourcing is a subtracting process such as product design of manufacturing or a third-party company. So outsourcing in short is just like giving the authority to manage the company, for example, in finance, in marketing or such other division, or even in specific or important stuffs to the experts. So ladies and gentlemen, some of us, by running the company, we might be not the experts. We might only inherit from our ancestors, from our parents, or from the higher top level of management. Means that we know nothing, ladies and gentlemen. So the life of the company itself depends on us. So in order for us to maintain and keep the company alive, we must find a way to manage the company. And there is also a shortcut called outsourcing. So this outsourcing means that we give the authority to handle this important job to the people who are experts, so they know it well, and then we just have to become the decision maker. Means that when they've done something, and then they have to reconsider it back to us. So we will have a better result with less problem, less headache, and thus the process will be starting from, there is certain process of outsourcing that we can be read and seen through a video. So using outsourcing, companies can focus more on constructing the strategy rather than conducting the administration. So we can also implement the new role of human resource management, which is strategic operational, and administrational. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of questions from me by answering the midterm of Human Resource Management from Section 1, Section 2, and Section 3. And I hope you understand well. If you have any questions, just drop by the comments below. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye!